Hey, Archer here. This is just a little bit after the premiere of this particular episode, by the way, and I wanted to do this because I thought it would be fun. And normally, when we do the regular commentaries, it's kind of more generalized, and it's not, it's not something that really talks about like, the production of the episode super in depth. Uh, but since I'm the one who edited this, and I wanted to take the opportunity to go in depth into kind of the process behind some of the new stuff like this really cool like overlay that I came up with. Um, just I'll just kind of start from beginning to end. And by the way, Demon, as of right now, Demon doesn't know that I'm making this. I'm gonna propose this idea to him later, and then depending on what he says, this will show up on the channel. Or if he's not a fan, this you might never see this, and I'm talking to nobody. But let's get started here. So this intro was made by someone else because you can see how it's just a video that's here, and as well as this opening to the episode itself, and I can't remember the name of the person who did this, which I apologize for because they did a really good job, and it's pretty good. It's pretty amazing. Um, of course, the intro is also the new intro is also amazing as well. Love the music, love how the rules is a part of the intro itself now, and that'll be useful for future episodes because it means it won't be two things that we have to find and put together. So that's nice. So getting into the actual part where I'm making a difference, let me just zoom in a little bit here. Um, Obviously there are clips of Mario, Sonic, and Crash and their enemies fighting each other, and I kind of I really enjoy the style that Who and Nemesis have whenever they edit episodes, where they have our characters kind of jumping around, and I tried to emulate that a little bit with us, like with us flipping around as if to turn to the other person or turn back to the episode itself, you know stuff like that. The little zoom ins here. Um, so yeah, that shows up here and there throughout the episode. So more clips of Bomberman, and here is the first instance the of this format being used, and I just wanna highlight this fact. This is really the first time I'm really using this. So, and I mean, as a whole, this episode is very experimental. So I'm glad that it came out as good as it did. Um, but you can really see how this editing program really only allows me to have five text tracks at one time. Uh, and what I did initially is, and I can go back and do this slowly so you can really see it. Each bullet point is its own text track, and and I have discovered that it's a lot better to to have see for example later, that's just one bullet point and that's one text track. It's the name and the ability itself, which is a quicker and b easier on just easier on me. It's less tedious and it's quicker, so that's probably what I'm personally gonna stick with. I don't know about the other editors. They're gonna have their own, as far as I understand it, they're gonna have their own spin on this, and they will doubtless be better at it than me. But and I actually discovered this accidentally because, as I said, I only have five text tracks to work with. Um, so by the time I got to this point, I was already out of text tracks, and I was like, okay, I'll just in the same text track, I'll put the other bullet point. So then I was like, wait, but that's easier, so I'll just do that for everything else. And I don't think anyone really noticed the difference. So mission accomplished. Um, so more stats, stuff like that. And so of course here is the break of the music. And by the way, um, it was mentioned to me that that people really liked this chalk sound effect. Here, I can play just a little bit of it.
The smallest of the Dastardly bombers, though maybe more chunky.
When we came up with this style of this HUD like months ago, and we decided that we wanted to use it eventually, I thought, well, if we're gonna have text on screen on this blackboard, obviously it should kind of look like chalk, kind of have this chalk kind of effect. And I don't remember what's the name of that font specifically. Let me find out because I don't remember. Hold on, I can find out. It's Bradley Hand ITC. So yeah, that had I found had a very cool chalk look to it. Uh, and obviously there's an effect. It's actually in bold to make it a little bit more readable. See, if I turn the bold off, it's a little bit thinner, and when you have a lot of text, a lot of it on screen at once, I feel like that would have made it not as legible. So it's bold to make it more readable. Uh, so yeah, and when when it comes on screen, I had the idea that it would be cool if there were a chalk writing sound effect to simulate kind of the feel of like, as we're talking about this, we're also writing it all down, like smart people do. not that Not that Demon and I are particularly smart people, but you get the idea. Um, and when I initially took on this, I kind of underestimated the fidelity of how detailed this was, because what I had to do when implementing this is, and we knew that we didn't want the whole time to just be this like screen. We wanted to swap between full screen and not and everything. And here it swaps back and forth, and what had to be done was this kind of this hold on, I'm getting a message. Uh, uh, the text track itself had to be cut away right here, and then brought back when the full screen was changed back to the overlay. So yeah. So yeah. So then here is when the music changes, and uh, at some point, when I get towards the end of this, I can I can tell you all a horror late Halloween story of how I almost had to do this entire project from the start again. But we can get to that when we get to that. So then we introduce Bugler, his name to signify we're talking about Bugler now. Uh, the different kinds of stuff there, and here is the second instance of us as our characters showing up. More zoom ins, and I wanted to make it kind of rhythmic with the script itself.
Why did my parents disown me?
Yeah, so and then that's technically speaking three different images at different zoom in points. Because what this is it's actually our images overlaying onto a just a black screen. So that's all it is, and it's me each time changing how big each image is, how much it's covering, and that's all that zoom in effect really is. So all pretty simple stuff. Yeah. So then we have this show guy go back and forth like, do you need therapy? He's like, no, I'm fine. Um, yeah, and I wasn't completely sure how to do this effect because I was like, okay, if I lower his picture down, maybe it'll like signify, oh, he's sad, he's sad demon, happy, sad, happy, sad. Okay, sorry. Right. So then of course there's the joke over here. Wait, no, it's after this. More feats, more stats, stuff getting written. Scroll over. Ah, yes, right. So here is the first instance of this joke, and this joke actually technically appears twice, uh, but a different version of it, where I'm like it's it's implied that I'm technically talking about Demon here. It smells like really bad. And we thought that was funny. He this kind of destroys the illusion a little bit, but he was completely aware that I was gonna do this. So yeah, well, the first time anyway. He didn't know that I was gonna do it again later, but we of course get to that when we get to that. So then that actually ends that part, and there's a bit where Demetrius has revealed that he's been trying to do for the entire part of this video. And so that ends that part of the video, and if I zoom out here, you can really see that I really start to get a hang of this overlay, because for this part, like for example, if I go to, let's say, something like Hiyako, nope, not there, here, this is a full screen image, but you can see if you look at the timeline, at this point the template is still there. So what this is just the video overlaying the image that's in the background. And when I changed to the next part, I changed it so that it would swap back and forth. See, this is not simply an overlay on the template. It's the actual video. So, and I end up swapping back and forth. Like, oh yeah, and then we have another one of these which I liked.
Though not gonna lie, Demon, I think you need it.
Yeah, a lean in for my character, which I wanted to do in some of these other parts when we have our pictures showing up, but I couldn't figure out how to tilt the image. But I figured it out here, so I was able to implement that in some parts that I really enjoyed, like here.
Smart brain archer. You a big old bag of dicks.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Took some fidelity in order to and precision in order to, get it to move how I wanted it rhythmically, but it was all worth it, and I think it's very 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 cool. Yeah, and then we this I do this joke kind of like maybe a few too many times. I really like Spectre's smug grin in the Ape Escape series. So I zoom in on his smug face a handful of times in the episode, arguably more than I should have. Oh yeah, and this loop is another video that I had to go and do, where I took the same like 3 seconds and like copy pasted it again several times, and then because it would have been too much for me to, because this image in the actual game doesn't hang on very long, so this is a loop of the same few seconds that's in the intro, and then plus a zoom in, and it was easier if I did a whole other video, like if I made a separate video just for this purpose. So yeah, it just for a joke that only I would really find funny, but that's how the news goes. So then, yeah, here you can see that here it's actually in the background, but here the video is like that is the video, where, and you can, I'm not doing a great job explaining it, but hopefully you can see what I mean. But anyway, this right here, of course, is is the second part of the joke that I make here, but I'm making it again, and this is like technically happening almost right after this. So I wanted to create this kind of feel of like no one told Demon, but like I didn't stop talking about it. I'm just like still complaining about Demon. And I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, and he didn't know that I was gonna do this a second time, but I thought it was funny. I'd like to imagine he probably laughed watching the episode. I hope. I certainly hope. Yeah, and then another zoom in, because I laugh at my own jokes too much. So yeah, more of, and then another. This bit right here is the peak of me really messing around with our profile images in a way that I really wanted to emulate the way like I said, Who into Nemesis kind of
You're
edit.
too
Da
rich.
da da! Banana gun!
Yeah, and he's like doing his stance. He's kind of doing it in my face, so I'm in the corner, and he cuts away, and I'm like, I'm still kind of reeling from his like, I'm still reeling a bit from his shenanigans. So I have to kind of like straighten myself out first, and then there we go. I'm standing up again. Oh yeah, and then here here's Yellow Monkey actually. So funny story. I actually had not actually seen Yellow Monkey at the time we were recording the script, because I really don't know much about Ape Escape at all. Um, so when I read that script, I kind of assumed, well, Demon knows me, so he knows when something is going to really, really like maybe uncomfortable. So I'm just going to assume that it is going to be uncomfortable, and that's what I, tried to reflect upon as we recorded that. But only after when I started editing did I actually see how like uncomfortable he is. Like, look at him. It's the worst. Okay. Anyway, enough about that. So we we have this kind of improv bit here where I referenced DBZ abridged, and like I said, this wait no, not like I said, I haven't mentioned this words. Um, the This bit wasn't in the script, so when I said I need an adult, because that line I need an adult wasn't in our script, so I said that, and luckily he followed up on me, and we were able to kind of complete that joke.
I am an adult.
No, you are not.
Yeah, our rhythm on that joke was a little bit different from DBZ Abridged because as you can see, Gohan kind of cuts Goku off a little bit quicker than I did. Um, but I'm sure that people understood that reference. Okay. Then once more, the music changes to Spectre's theme. Then the zoom in where
That gives him a get out of being a dick free.
yeah, more zoom ins, more tilting. Stuff about Spectre.
They shut down.
You think that?
More zoom ins. There's we are getting to the point in the episode where there's not much more for me to say that hasn't already been said. Um, but actually, no. Here, I can say that as I said, I'm not completely familiar with Ape Escape, so there are admittedly some points where we talk about that I don't have shown here because I could not. At the time of editing this, I was kind of crunching on time, and this episode was actually supposed to go out like 3 days before it actually came out. We had intended it for it to come out a lot earlier, so I was kind of pushing myself to get it out. Um, so there are some points where like we talk about the guy surviving like an explosion that I think is different from this explosion, but I'm not completely sure. Or a better example is when we're talking about the henchman reacting to piloting the spaceship. I couldn't figure out where exactly that was in the games, and I didn't want to like watch like hours of gameplay footage and like cutscenes in order to find that because I was like I said, I was crunching on time, so I used what footage I knew I had. Um, so I hope no one's complete. I hope no one's too caught up about that. And here we talk about his backwards evil plan, and that ends that bit. And there's probably a better clip that I probably could have used here, but this is the best thing that I found at the time. So yeah. And then, interesting enough, I actually, I actually I did not watch this prediction until uh, we actually premiered it, and I saw it then, because I kind of wanted to just get it in there. It's like, all right, it's in there. I'm sure it's probably fine. Uh, and I just went and kept editing because, as I said, I needed it to get out like ASAP. And then there's this joke, which is another improv point, where I'm like,
Bodies everywhere.
They were all were monkeys.
They're bananas. Anyways,
yeah, I liked that bit where I'm like, there, the bodies, there's bananas everywhere. Yeah, I thought that was fun. Uh, and then this is another one of these that another overlay that I have this line split down the middle, where there's a team on the left with the stuff with the team on the left is attributed to the stats on the left. The team on the right is attributed to the stats on the right. And then the plus and the minuses. That's kind of my own spin on the conclusion screen we've had in the past. Yeah, and then the next time, which you've all seen, which I also did not make, and the person who did make it, of course, is amazing, and they're better at me. They're they're better than me at editing. And then here's the fan art screen, which is another version of the overlay that I made, and I think it was implied when we were working on this that there was a different way that I could have done this. Uh, but as I got to here in the editing, there's only there's only so many seconds left. Uh, I'm like, well, I kind of want to be consistent with my editing style, so I'll kind of make my own thing and have like everyone's name be written as their piece comes up. So I liked that a lot. Yeah, and it was good because, like I said, people enjoy the chalk writing sound. So I was like, okay, how much chalk writing sounds can I cram to the episode? So that's what ended up happening. Okay, so now that we're ending, so now we're at the end of the episode, and cut back to me actually editing this, and something that happened that almost made me have to do all of this over from the beginning was I got to this point and I was like, okay, all I need to do now is add music and adjust some audio levels. I'm done. And all of a sudden, I get a error message that shows up, and it's something like, sorry, something happened with the auto saving. The program needs to shut down. I was like, okay. And then I opened it again, and at this point, I started having problems with not being able to open the project file, and I start panicking and like, oh no, do I have to do the whole thing from the beginning? And like I have I don't want to say a panic attack because that's not what happened. Don't worry, I'm fine. But it was a little bit of a, oh no, I don't know what to do. So yeah, that's also the reason why it took another day because I kind of had to calm myself down. But after that happened, I went back, I sat down, I was like, okay, let's try this again. Let's see if it works. And all of a sudden, the editing program worked fine, and I was able to add music, adjust audio levels and everything, and it turned out really great. So that was a really good start to my day today. Is finding out that the episode is fine. So yeah, that's about all I can say for this video, unless there's something that I forgot to mention. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of behind the scenes look at everything. Or if nothing else, you've enjoyed me talking in the background of something else that you're doing. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time on um I don't know. See ya. Bye. Go have a good day.